Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits for Highly Effective People, he says a couple things that have always resonated with me. Number one, begin with the end in mind. I think that's very interesting because people ask me all the time, where do I start? You know, Verl, you talk about technology and social media and web strategies. We've talked about paperless listings and high-touch systems. This series of videos has given you an enormous amount of information, but where do you really start? Well, let's go back to Stephen Covey's quote, and let me say that again. Begin with the end in mind. The best place to start, folks, is with a real business plan. If somebody came to me and they said to me, Verl, I'd like you to come help me with my web strategy, I'd say, well, what are you trying to accomplish? Well, if you don't know what you're trying to accomplish, then how will my advice help you? You see, for a ship bound for no harbor, no wind is favorable. If you don't know where you want to go, how are you going to get there? Zig Ziglar, I used to love listening to Zig Ziglar. Zig talked with his great southern accent, and he says, you got to have a goal, and you got to take that goal and you got to break it down to a monthly, weekly, and daily basis. Then you got to start working on those daily tasks. And if you break those goals down, then and only then will you become a meaningful specific. And then Zig asks, he says, folks, I'm going to ask you all a question. What do you want to be? A wandering generality or a meaningful specific? Well, if your answer is meaningful specific, then it begins with a real business plan. Build your business plan for next year. Finish this year strong with a good business plan and break it down to the daily tasks that you need to do to accomplish those goals. Once you've built your business plan, the next most important thing to focus on in your business is your most profitable business, and that's your database. That's buying or acquiring a real estate specific client relationship manager. There's many of them out there. There's Top Producer, Active Agent, and several others. It doesn't matter which one you use. What matters is that it's real estate specific and follows the criteria that we talked about in the relationship video. Once you master your contact manager, it makes sense then to focus on generating more business that comes into your contact manager or that relationship manager. That's when we talk about converting those leads, or let's do next, high tech equals high touch. That means creating high touch systems that will then keep the people in your database at the front of your mind and vice versa. So when they think about listing or selling real estate, they always think of you and remember you. I mean, seriously, when was the last time that you had somebody run into you hadn't seen in a while and they asked you if you're still in real estate? If they have to ask you that question, it means they don't know. It means you're probably practicing secret agency, and that's not okay. So once you have your real estate specific contact manager, focus on having high quality, high volume touches with those customers. And that happens in that client relationship manager. Now that we've got our now that we have our high tech, high touch business going, it's time to start focusing on the internet. How do we capture and convert those web leads? Capturing and converting web leads comes from not only a process, but it comes from a strategy that is written out and followed with every single lead that comes in. We can ramp your business to any level of internet leads we want to once we have the right process in place. But see, what happens is if you focus on capturing and converting internet leads, but you don't have a database to manage them, we capture the leads and most of them fall through the cracks and we end up with a 1 or 2% closing ratio on the web leads. So we focus and we strategize on how to really work with those internet leads. Follow the steps that were found in the video on working web leads. Once we know and have a system in place for capturing and converting leads, we then follow up with those leads until they raise their hand, and then we move them into our real estate specific contact manager. Do you see how having a plan first makes sense? Having a real estate contact manager second makes a lot of sense. Third, we have to have high tech and high touch systems communicating with people in our database, and then we focus on generating more leads so that we can build even a larger business. Once we have the converting those web leads down, then we can focus on driving web traffic. There's a variety of different ways to drive traffic yourself. You can use pay-per-click services. You can hire outside people to do it. You can focus on your blog and social media to get your site to come up higher in the organic searches. For me, I found that I've got other people doing that for me because I make my money by being shoulder to shoulder with more buyers and sellers. I don't want to spend my time in front of the computer. I want to do what I'm passionate about, and that's getting in front of buyers and sellers and putting deals together. So I use a company like mysearchengineads.com that does all the pay-per-click advertising for me, drives all the traffic, gives me reports on what key phrases and words are working, and I spend about the same amount of money as I would to just pay for pay-per-click advertising. So focus your business on really driving the web leads into your business. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. You've got a business plan and you're working hard to execute on the activities. You've got a great database and you're following up with the people in that database, staying at the front of their mind. You're now capturing and converting web leads from a variety of different sources, and you've got real systems in place to drive traffic into your site. Your business is growing and you're booming. The biggest challenge that I find with the top producers that I coach is that when their business starts to go crazy like that, how do they find time to really focus on the most important things in their life? In coaching, we always do a session called the 12 Critical Steps to Time and Life Mastery. And during that session, we teach agents and brokers how to really identify the most important things and then work on those things. It's not about how much money you make. It's about what you do with the resources that you're blessed with. How do you give back to your families? How do you really spend time making sure you never miss one of your kids' ball games or dance performances or school plays? What's really important to you in your life, folks, needs to be part of your business plan. Make sure that your plan includes balance. Now we next focus on email and text messaging and blogging. You know, is it important to start blogging first? You see, if we build things backwards or we start with blogging first, then our business is out of balance. Remember, it's all about having the right balance. So you then get into email and blogging and text messaging and utilizing the power technology that's out there. Each of these principles builds upon itself until you have a business like a pyramid that really functions well. The last thing is really mastering your sales dialogue and sales skills. While that's something I believe is a lifelong pursuit, mastering the paperless listing, being able to utilize all this great technology when you're shoulder to shoulder with your clients will really separate you from everybody else. It helps you build that unfair competitive advantage that we're all looking for. Build your business plan. Create and build and master your real estate specific contact manager. Create a high-tech, high-touch business so your clients never forget that you're their real estate agent that cares about their business. Capture the internet leads and really work them. Work them better than anybody else does, and you'll find that they're a huge profit center there. Once you've mastered that process, start driving more traffic to your websites with the right web strategy. Don't forget about time and life balance and making sure you take care of the important things and the important people in your lives so that you can really understand the meaning of happiness. Focus on email, blogging, and texting and the other technology tools that are out there, then the paperless listing. And folks, if you follow this pyramid to success, I promise not only will you have great success in your business, you'll have success in your life and a great balance that goes along with it. I wish you the great amount of success. Remember that first things first, and don't ever, ever forget that if you take care of the relationships, the money will follow. And if you have a plan, you can then achieve success you're looking for in your business.